Hello, Jake. I hope you're doing well today.
Hi, Emma. I'm doing great, thanks. How about you?
I'm fantastic, thanks. Today, I thought we could discuss how to make balanced arguments.
Sounds good to me. So, what's on your mind?
I want to focus on concessions and counter-arguments. Expressing contrasting viewpoints.
That's a great idea. It's important to present both sides of an argument.
Exactly. Let's start by talking about how we can agree on something yet point out a different perspective.
Right. I've noticed that people often struggle with that. How do we begin?
We could use expressions like, admittedly, granted, and, even so. These phrases help us acknowledge something while presenting a counterpoint.
I see. Can you give an example of how to use admittedly?
Sure. You might say, admittedly, the weather is nice today, but the forecast says it will rain tomorrow.
That makes sense. So, it's acknowledging one idea while bringing in another?
Exactly. Now, let's jump into our first dialogue practice.
Sure, I'm ready.
All right, let's say we're discussing travel.
Okay, I think traveling is the best way to learn about other cultures.
I agree, Jake. Admittedly, travel can be educational.
But it can be quite expensive too.
Granted, travel can cost a lot. Even so, it can be worth every penny.
That's true. You gain experiences that money can't buy.
Be that as it may, some people may not afford to travel frequently.
Regardless, there are still local experiences to consider, right?
Yes. Local travel can also provide great cultural insights.
Exactly. And sometimes it's easier to plan.
Admittedly, planning local trips could be less stressful.
Granted, you can find hidden gems right in your neighborhood.
Even so, many people overlook what's around them.
True, they often think they need to go far away to relax.
But, be that as it may, the convenience of local trips can be appealing.
It really can be. Plus, it's better for the environment.
Absolutely. We can both agree on that.
So, let's dive into the explanation part and explore these phrases a bit.
Sure. Using expressions for concession helps clarify our discussions.
Could you share some examples?
Of course. Admittedly, I have a busy schedule, but I make time to read. Or, granted, it's cold outside, yet the park is beautiful in winter.
Got it. How about another?
Sure. Even so, I think we should go hiking this weekend. These phrases allow us to acknowledge the other side.
That's really helpful. It makes the conversation flow nicely.
Exactly. Let's move on to our second dialogue practice.
I'm excited. What's our topic this time?
This time, let's discuss technology.
Great. Technology is changing so fast.
Admittedly, it does make life easier.
But it's also raising privacy concerns.
Granted, there are significant risks. Even so, technology brings many benefits.
I agree. Be that as it may, we need to be cautious.
Regardless, we can't ignore how it connects us globally.
Exactly. It allows for communication across the world.
Admittedly, some people might feel overwhelmed by constant notifications.
Granted, it can be a distraction. Even so, people can adjust their settings.
Good point. Technology is flexible like that.
But we must use it wisely.
I completely agree. Be that as it may, we have to embrace progress.
Definitely. And it's exciting to think about the future of technology.
Regardless of the concerns, I think innovation is essential.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing how it evolves.
So, let's discuss our vocabulary words now.
Sure. What are the words?
The words are, admittedly, granted, even so, be that as it may, and, regardless.
Okay. Can you give me sentences for each?
Of course. For, admittedly, I wasn't the best student, but I worked hard.
That makes it clear.
Now for granted. We take our health for granted until we're sick.
Yeah, that's a common feeling.
For even so, it was raining. Even so, we decided to go jogging.
I love that. It shows determination.
Exactly. For be that as it may, I still prefer tea over coffee.
Interesting. And lastly?
Finally, for regardless of the outcome, we'll learn from this experience.
Great examples. They're all very useful.
Now, let's review what we've learned today.
Okay, what are the questions?
First, what does admittedly express?
It acknowledges a point while introducing a counter.
Correct. Next, give an example of using granted.
Granted, the movie was long, but it was entertaining.
Spot on. What about using even so?
Even so, I think we should finish the project.
Perfect. Now, explain be that as it may in a sentence.
Be that as it may, I'm still committed to my goals.
Wonderful. Lastly, use regardless in context.
Regardless of the challenges, I will keep going.
Excellent work, Jake. You've mastered these phrases.
Thanks, Emma. This was a great lesson.
Before we finish, let's preview our next topic.
What's coming up?
Next lesson, we'll learn about expressing opinions and how to support them.
That sounds interesting. I can't wait.
Me too. See you next time, Jake.
See you, Emma.